welcome to Movie Reedviews. I'm Cody Reed. So today I'm going to review The Martian. It's the newest movie from Ridley Scott, and it stars Matt Damon, along with Sean Bean, Jeff Daniels, and a lot of other supporting cast. So first off, it's important to note that this is based off a book, not a true story, because sometimes it felt that way to me. It felt like I was watching this guy who got left on Mars, which I'll talk about, and there was the real events that happened, and I was like, oh, okay, when did this happen? But no, it's based on a book. So basically, you have a crew of astronauts who are exploring Mars, but then a storm hits, and they're forced to leave early. Mark Watney, one of the astronauts, he gets left behind because he gets hit by some debris, they think he died, so they leave, and now he's forced to, use his botany skills, basically, because he's a botanist, and he has to survive on Mars, grow food, find water, things like that. And apparently he didn't know that water grows on Mars now, or that it's there, because we just found that out. So Mark Watney has to do all these things. He also has to stay optimistic, and he has to also ration his food, which he can last for about 400 days, he figures. The rest of the plot focuses on his crew, and as well as the NASA team back home. So yeah, it's like Castaway, but on Mars. Matt Damon carries this movie. I mean, like I mentioned, it's kind of like Castaway, where this guy has to survive by himself somewhere in a desolate place. Except this one seems to have more humor and optimism. Castaway's great, I love that movie. But this one, Mark Watney's really funny, he's really optimistic, so it kind of has that aspect as well to the movie. The movie overall kind of also reminded me of Interstellar and Gravity, because those were recent sci-fi films in outer space. Except he was also, Matt Damon was also in Interstellar, but he's nothing like his character in Interstellar. I mean, this one, like I mentioned, he's more funny, he's optimistic, it's just a completely different character. The only similarity is that Matt Damon plays the character. That leads me to one of the only things that detracts from the movie is the other characters. I know they need to show the other characters to have the supporting cast, but each time they cut away to his crew heading home or to NASA, it took away from Mark and his endeavors to get home or to reach someone. And so you have all these other side characters, and sometimes when they cut away, it was a small cut, and then other times were longer cuts, maybe 15 minutes away from Mark. And I wish they would have just scattered that more throughout the movie with smaller cuts, instead of leaving Mark for 15 minutes, and then you're okay, I know that this stuff is important, but can we just get back to Mark Watney? Other than that, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this movie. The movie's very good, it's very fun, it's very intense. Mark Watney's so optimistic that when things go bad or when things are depressing, you can feel it in his tone, you can feel it in his being. Since he's an astronaut, he has these video logs, and that helps him to keep talking and explain what's happening, kind of get his thoughts out there. And the science seems very real. If someone was left on Mars, I figured that this is probably what would happen. Yeah, this movie is basically what happens when everyone's on the top of their game and everything is great. Mars looks great. It looks very red and desolate. You have a lot of great humor, mostly from Watney, but also from other scenarios. There's great music in it as well, a lot of disco music, which don't worry, that does tie into the movie. If you're still maybe I'll see it, go see it if you like Castaway, or if you like those kind of survival films. I mean, Everest came out recently, that was also a survival film, but that was more bleak and them trying to complete this hard task, which this is hard. It's kind of a good mix of optimism and intensity. And so it's not all intensity, there is optimism, but it doesn't make you feel the stakes. But if you like those type of movies, I say go and see this, you'll probably like it. 2 thumbs up, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think besides spreading out the side characters a little bit more in the movie, Matt Damon was awesome, everything else contributes to a great movie, and this is definitely one of Matt Damon's best roles in years, as well as Ridley Scott directing this movie. I'd love to know what you thought of the movie if you saw it, or if you're still waiting to see it. Tell me if this review helped, like this video, it really helps. Comment, it really helps. Share this video, it really helps. And then also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and send me some emails at moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you next time. What's the deal with leaving Matt Damon in space? I mean, seriously, we don't have to go to outer space. Leave him, there's nothing out there. Come on! I think I'll just give this movie 2 out of 3 planets. Let's just move on already.